I think first and foremost, it's not an easy task for an organization, all of the departments, all of the areas of an organization to fully embrace this the way it properly works out there today. And I can understand that. But if I were a marketing director today saying, look, we've got to really embrace social media in a new, different, and bold way, I think one of the first things I would do is I would get my key influencers in the organization, and every organization has them, and maybe pick out a few heads of department, whether it's the head of compliance, the head of legal, the head of back office, whatever it might be, and work closely with them to say, here's what we want to do. Here's how we want to change and evolve our brand in a more embracing way towards social media. It's going to require us as an organization to probably break some of the traditional rules that we've set up. But if you get those influencers on board early enough, and in all likelihood, those influencers are probably using social media in their personal lives. If they're not using it, their kids are using it, their friends are using it, they're going to be familiar with it. So as a marketing director, if you go to them and say, look, this is what I want to try. Maybe we can try it in a controlled way, but let's open this up. Let's open that up. In my experience over the past several years in my career, most of those people are very willing to try and experiment and do things because they're part of it and they feel part of it. I think sometimes organizations struggle culturally if you've got somebody over here, a real evangelist, who's almost fighting against the rest of the organization. The way I've always worked it is go to those people, go to some of those most difficult people who are going to be the ones who might perceive to be the obstructionists and say to them, look, I want to try this. Help me to figure out a way to do it. Help me to figure out a way in which we can get around the compliance issues, we can get around the legal issues, and let's figure out a way to make this work. And I think those companies that can do that and those leaders who can do that are going to have success. Again, I think there will be intrusion, there will be overkill, mistakes will be made because we're all learning this together. Again, I always say to people, look, as you're sending stuff out, get line of sight in terms of how, as a customer, you're receiving it. And if I'm bombarding you with too many messages, just like email spam or whatever, there's something wrong and you need to fix it. You need to make sure that you're not doing those types of things, but you're going to get it wrong. It's inevitable that you will, but figure out how you correct it. And the best way to correct it is to experience it for yourself. Go onto the social media channels that you're marketing on or advertising on and see what you look like. And don't just do it once, do it a lot over a period of time so that you're seeing and understanding the impression that your customers are getting. Look at how your message is coming through. Is it consistent with what you want your brand to be? Is the tone too subtle or is it too domineering? You're only going to get that experience if you look and see and feel it for yourself. And there are tools now where you can bring customers in to do that for you as well. They'll sit down and they'll look at this stuff. You can do it in controlled environments. There's good research out there today where you can do that. But I would say make sure you do that. Customers will tell you if it's overkill. They'll get on the phone, they'll email you, they'll get onto the social media channels and say, stop, I don't like what you're doing. Go into the chat rooms, go onto the blogs. You'll see for yourself what people are saying about you. And companies that aren't monitoring those will pay a price.